I can drive really big trucks without a license. I can drive really small trucks with a license. I've gotten yelled at many, many times for no reason. I've fed people, I've run for coffee, cleaned out passenger vans after people have wet themselves in them. And I can shoot a lot of movies. That's what I can do.
Well, the first film, I think I was 8, where I organized my mother's daycare kids into a remake of A League of Their Own, which I wrote, directed, produced, and starred in. This was recording directly onto a VHS tape, and we did all the editing in camera. Sadly, it's lost because my dad accidentally taped over it with a Seahawks game, but it lives on in my memory.
I've been on a lot of movies with strange premises where my parents got scared to ask me what I was working on. I'm working on a movie about these janitors who eat cookies and then end up giving birth to little blue fishes out of their butts. Or I was working on a gay horror film starring Tori Spelling, and my parents just would shake their heads and be like, "What are you doing with your life?"
Hi everybody, welcome to the Local Sightings pre-party! So glad to see everybody here, and I have to thank first and foremost the Mayor's Office of Film and Music. Thank you so much, Kate and everyone in the office, for giving us the opportunity to talk your ear off about all the great stuff coming up in Local Sightings, which kicks off tomorrow. So Local Sightings, how many people who worked on a film or directed or what have you in Local Sightings is in here right now? Anybody? We got a few. Okay, well, hats off to you guys. So Local Sightings, if for some reason you're not already familiar with it, is the kind of long-running annual festival of Pacific Northwest film and filmmakers hosted at Northwest Film Forum every fall. And it is certainly a platform for discovery of the new work that people are making in this region. Same thing this year. One thing that's different is I organized it. So historically, it's been organized by Adam Sekuler and Dave Hannigan. Certainly raise a glass to them. They did a wonderful job for many years. So this year, things are different, but they're really also the same so far as we're showing a lot of really exciting and excellent new films from across the region. And as any film festival should, it has something for everyone. So what I'm going to do tonight is just give a little run through of some of the highlights. And of course, also like any good film festival, it's more than just films, so I'll tell you about that. It all starts tomorrow. This is the pre-party, then the official first party is tomorrow for our opening night. It's a really kind of robust preview of everything to come in the fest, and it's a much more kind of interactive opportunity with the filmmakers themselves, the people behind the movies that make up this festival, and also this really vibrant community of filmmaking here around Seattle and the rest of the Pacific Northwest. So you'll get a chance to kind of meet and mingle with those filmmakers. We did a really cool thing where we asked a few folks to pick a scene from a film that influenced theirs, and we're going to screen it and have them talk about it, because it's always really fascinating to hear what is behind the artistic process that brings these films to our screens. And the answers that we got from people ranged everything from, you're going to see Christopher Walken, you're going to see a New Zealand sci-fi classic, you're going to see a scene from Jan Spankmeyer, the kind of really wonderful Czech stop-motion animator and director. So it's really all over the place, and it's going to be great. And also, you'll get a better sense of what's coming up in the Seattle Film Summit, which I'll talk about more in a moment, but that's really expanded and really great this year, so lots of stuff there. The next night is our opening film, and that is Bella Vista, directed by Vera Runner-Song. And it is a film from Missoula, Montana, shot there, and it also had, actually, it's world premiere at the Rotterdam International Film Festival in the Netherlands, which is certainly one of the more prestigious European film festivals, especially in terms of really kind of boundary-pushing, artistic-focused work. So we're very excited to be the US premiere of that film. The very first audience have the chance to see that. And in attendance tomorrow for the opening program to tell you about it and a little bit more about the origin story, and even to like open their lookbook that they made in the conceptualization of the film. The director, Vera Bunner-Song, producer, Brooke Swaney, and then the next night for the actual screening, we're also going to have the 2 lead actresses. So we're super excited about that. Right before the screening, there's also a reception hosted by Naked City Brewery, who is our sponsor for our audience award. Hats off to them, because if you want to see this movie on Friday, you get to drink free beer beforehand. So we're super grateful to them. And with that, I am going to actually show you the trailer for Bella Vista.
Each of you can ask me one question. You can ask me anything you want, but I get to decide if I want to answer or not, okay? Who wants to start? I'm living in Missoula now, but I'm not from here.
How are you?
So what do you need?
All right, and then for our closing night film, we come a little closer back to Seattle, and we're going to show the Seattle premiere of In Country. This is a documentary by Mike Addy, a kind of longtime Seattle resident and filmmaker who just recently moved to take up a gig teaching filmmaking at Northwestern, but he's going to be here for the screening. And it's also co-directed by Megan O'Hara. Yeah, what is this? All right, we're okay for now. Let's all just be vigilant. This film is a documentary premiered at Full Frame, and it is about Vietnam War reenactors. And as it turns out, there's a very, very rich and fascinating subculture of Vietnam War reenactors that was documented by Mike and Megan. They shot a lot of it outside of Salem, Oregon, and the thing that's really fascinating about their approach is that is it because we're talking about Vietnam? Is that they weren't so much documenting. It's not a super straightforward documentary in terms of like what's happening. They're very interested in why people are interested in reenacting the Vietnam War. And I will also say that as this is a closing night film, and tickets are going fast for both the opening and closing night films, you can still get them. I would recommend getting them online sooner rather than later. And then after we show this closing film on Thursday, October 2nd, our last party is actually going to be around the corner at Vermilion, which is like the last spot on Capitol Hill in the Pike Pine corridor that's still like genuinely cool insofar as it's not overrun by like the bro-y, party weekend, whatever. And there's Diana, the owner, is super supportive of local artists, and so we want to be super supportive of her. It's a really cool space, and we got a really excellent DJ, WD-40, who's a fixture of the Stop Fighting beat maker showcase at Lo-Fi every Tuesday. If you've been to a dance party with me already, you can you know you can trust my judgment. If you haven't, trust me, it's going to be a good party. And there's going to be a bunch of subjects from this documentary about Vietnam War reenactors, so, you know, theoretically, you can party with some of them. And on that note, let's watch the trailer.
All right, gentlemen, so I've got a question for you. Why are you out here in this tent in jungle fatigues reenacting a war that was fought 40 years ago? Just express yourself, that's all I ask. See, that's why I'm out here.
So that's when you really have to see to believe. There's everyone from Iraq veterans doing this, Vietnam veterans, Vietnamese Vietnam veterans, guys who just like to play War in the Woods when they were little boys. It's a very, very rich immersive film, so do not miss it. Okay, and then some of you may have noticed that we had a couple of coloring book stations out there. That's in honor of one of the films in the festival. It's called Bubble Bubble Meows and the Meteor Stomachache. And it is a feature-length animated film that was hand-drawn, scanned, compiled in Photoshop, animated, and it is about a poorly drawn cat and his attempts to help his friend, a string bean, cure the stomachache that he has that was caused by swallowing a meteor when he was sleepwalking. And we're saying that this film is not for the unaltered of mind, and I am also very proud to say that, like, some people will absolutely hate it. It's a love it or hate it kind of movie. People who love it, you're in the cool club. All right, let's watch the trailer.
Coffee, free coffee.
Coffee.
Free coffee samples, they're free.
Coffee.
It's free coffee. It tastes just like coffee because it is coffee and it's free.
Coffee. Coffee. Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee.
In case you were wondering, yes, that was the director's mother-in-law doing the voice of the Dr. Coffee. And when I asked him, who did you make this movie for? He said, oh, my unborn child. Of course. So if you didn't get to color tonight, we are going to have a coloring book happy hour before the screening next Tuesday. And I think it's probably most appropriate to have like a coffee in one hand and a beer in the other. And that's probably the best mindset to enter this viewing experience with. Okay, so I'm going to run through some other films in the festival, super fast, like, I don't know, 140 characters style. You have a program here if you want to find out more. Also feel free to like hit me up for recommendations or to just be like, what was that one you talked about? I'm happy to tell you more. So, we got a screening of Chat by Greg Lundgren, owner of Vito's and the Hideout and longtime art scene fixture. He decided to make a movie, finally. And it's one take, one shot, 82 minutes. He made it in a day. It's about a webcam girl not taking any shit from the people in her like webcam chat room. It's really excellent. He did a private screening at the Film Forum this summer. Got a lot of buzz. If you didn't get to catch it then, come get it now. We also have, on a totally separate note, Return the River, which is a really excellent documentary about the El Wad Dam, which you've probably been reading a lot about. Lots of news with that. The dam just got removed. It's really stunningly beautiful. Has a small scene with Tom Skerritt, who's going to be at the screening. Just won the Audience Award at the Port Townsend Festival. It's a really solid documentary. We got The Device, and I believe we have lead actor David Hogan in the room. Is he here? He's here. He's somewhere. Anyway, this is an alien thriller fun, and it stars David and his wife Angela, really beloved actor, teacher, producer duo in town, and it's really fun alien sci-fi. We also have The Exhibition. This is a documentary about the largest serial killer case in Canadian history, which took place in Vancouver, and an artist. It's also about an artist who painted portraits of all of the women who were murdered by this pig farmer who killed a bunch of women, many of them indigenous, and so the police didn't really pay much attention as they should have, and so then like dozens of people got killed. And it's just a really fascinating story, and it's all uncovered here really well. We also have Nothing Against Life. This is kind of a spotlight on our fiscal sponsorship program, which this film was shepherded through along with many other films and made in the region of late. It's made by Julio Ramirez. It really directly deals with suicide issues, the stigma, encourages a suicide prevention message. It won a special jury prize for excellence upon its world premiere at the San Marino Film Festival in Italy. And Julio recently won, just this month, the annual Heroes Award given out by the Youth Suicide Prevention Program here in Seattle. So that's really excellent. Another really solid drama that we have, and I like to say this one is for actors and moms, because it is a really great cast of 4 leading ladies, just kind of like great interpersonal drama, and it's directed by an actor, so it's like really performance heavy, but also has that kind of like nice like Diane Keaton like appeal, you know, to your mom. So that's the one to bring her to. Also, the world premiere of Koinonia. This is the most impressive post-apocalyptic film made on a shoestring budget of the year here in the region. It stars Tony Dupay. It's directed by Andrew Finnegan, and we're really excited to have it. Mind Zone, a documentary about therapists working in the American military. So this is a nice little taster to have before entering into watching In Country. Also super fascinating. I don't know, being a therapist working in the American military sure sounds like there's a lot to be documented there to me. Plain Devil. This is a kind of late night screening by Tanya Atomic, and it is a sort of John Waters girl gang kind of fanciful film where the main character's name is Little Gypsy. What else do we have coming up? I should also definitely speak for a moment about the Seattle Film Summit. This is something that's taken place during local sightings at the Film Forum for the past 2 years. This is the 3rd edition, co-produced with Evil Slave and Ben Andrews. Ben, you in the room? Right on. Thank you, Ben. Super excited, had a great time working with Ben on this, and we are about to just like unleash a deluge of expertise in the film industry here. We really have an all-star lineup, and something that we endeavored to do, because the past couple of years you kind of had to like pick and choose which panel you want to go to because they were happening simultaneously. So we made it this year, you don't have to pick. Saturday the 27th, coming right up, is like the main day with 4 big panels, followed by a happy hour kind of hosted by the Washington Film Pack, which we're really excited about. And there's also a lot of panels the next day, that's Sunday, and a couple scattered throughout the festival. It all culminates in a town hall discussion kind of hosted by the Seattle Film Industry Caucus that convened back in February and has had really great kind of community discussions about what we're doing, what we want to be doing, what we want to ask of the various legislative bodies that serve this community. And so that's going to be a great opportunity on the closing night of the festival before the party, what do you know, how convenient, to kind of voice those comments, discuss what was learned, and who you met throughout the summit and all of that. The Film Summit also this year kind of extends beyond the strict confinements of the film industry to touch upon the other kind of overlapping and tangential industries and opportunities in other fields, other creative industries, other commercial industries in the area. Obviously the gaming industry is huge in Seattle. Lots of filmmakers are finding opportunities there, and this ranges for everybody from screenwriters to voice actors to makeup artists. And so we're kind of trying to corral that and see what there is to discover. That's going to be great. We also have one on DIY distribution, which is something that so many filmmakers working independently inevitably are dealing with today, and there's lots of really creative solutions, and Seattle actually has some of the most interesting case studies I've seen, so we're gonna have people talking about that. And yeah, just all the big names. Just go to the Film Summit website and you'll see it. It's gonna be great. We're also going to have a archival program, which local sightings traditionally includes, and this is called Night of the Northwest Road Rash. And it is a program of archival skateboard VHS tapes that are incredibly rare. One of them is called The Mission, and it was shot on Super 8, and it's just a bunch of dudes skateboarding like on the tops of trains from here down to San Diego. Another one is called Bored Crazy, and it's just like a lot of, I don't know, if you happen to be around in Seattle in the late 80s, early 90s, you probably know some people in these tapes, but they were lost in the sands of time, and we've, you know, extracted them. So it's gonna be great. And they're also, in that one, is one of the first things to use Nirvana and Mudhoney in the soundtrack. Like, yeah. All right, so that's gonna be really fun. And we also have an education open house happening on this Sunday. Another great thing about the Film Forum, we don't just show movies all year round, we also teach really great classes all year round. And this is an opportunity to talk to the teachers for classes that are upcoming in the October-November season. You know, shop around, decide if you want to sign up for one, and all that. We'll also have a bit of a showcase of recent student work. That's free, so why not? Hit it up. Also, at that, you'll be able to find out about a workshop that you can take during local sightings if you want. It's called Botanicallage. It's this method of making handmade film frames using local botanicals. Get the local connection, local sighting? Yeah, that's really cool. And then we're going to actually show the film that's made out of that workshop. And that workshop takes place next Saturday, October 4th. And we're going to screen the film that's made out of that the next day, along with a really great kind of experimental 16mm heavy program of films that are kind of collaborating with nature. And it includes work by Stan Brakhage. So if you take that workshop, then you can be like, I screened in a program with Stan Brakhage, beloved experimental filmmaker. So that's great. All right, we're also, if you've ever been involved with the 48-hour film project, it's their 10th anniversary this year. So we're gonna do a best of screening for the 10th anniversary. That is great. What else? Okay, then I'll just tell you really briefly about our jurors, because that's a big part of the festival too. We actually bring jurors up and out and over here to watch the movies in competition and award prizes. And this year we have Richard Herskowitz, who's the director of Cinema Pacific in Eugene at the University of Oregon. He's also the director of the Houston Film Society. He knows everybody. He loves movies. He's gonna be great to have around. And we also have remotely, because of a freak accident in her family, so she's not able to come out, Kristen Fitzpatrick from Women Make Movies in New York, really great nonprofit that supports films made by and for women. So she's still going to watch them and give her expertise and insights. Unfortunately, she won't be here, but you know, let's just say the freak accident involved an elevator, and you just can't control those things. Everyone's okay though. And then last but not least, and this is also related to the kind of final film screening of the festival, there's this guy named Maximo Monaghan who actually grew up in the Central District and was a skater punk guy, and he was like he just self-described Av rat, just like hanging out on the Av, being a no-good kid in the 80s with dreads and stuff, and eventually got sponsored by skateboard companies, and then ended up out in Brooklyn making films and videos for the skate companies that sponsored him. And then this, now he has his first debut, his first feature-length film. It's called La Voz de los Silenciados, The Voice of the Silent. And it all started when he was reading the newspaper in New York and saw a tiny little blurb about a human trafficking ring that was uncovered in New York. And it's like all those young deaf kids that you see putting their cards out on the train in New York and saying, I'm deaf, can you give me money? As it turns out, it was all part of this like criminal slavery ring where the young people were kind of lured from their countries and told they were going to go to a school for the deaf in New York, and they got forced into this like crazy, human slavery ring. And he just saw this tiny little news article, never saw any other mention of it. He was like, how is this not a bigger deal? Decided to make a movie about it. The resulting movie is really fascinating. It's a silent, black and white film from the perspective of a young Guatemalan woman who is going through this experience. It's been described as Charlie Chaplin meets Eraserhead, which is funny because he hasn't seen Eraserhead, as it turns out, I just discovered. But it's like the frame rate is sped up, the sound design is immaculate, it has these experimental flares, it has this strange humor, it's really terrific. We're going to show that outside of the festival competition because, you know, he grew up in the city, so gotta give him a place in local settings. But really loves movies, can't wait to have him on the jury, and also after his screening, which I think it has turned into like an impromptu Seattle 80s skater reunion, there's going to be a DJ party in the lobby too with DJ Timmy Hayes, if anyone's familiar with him. So that'll be great. And I think that I've talked quite a lot. If you have any questions about anything in the festival, please let me know. And last but not least, if you're like, how do I get to see all these things? There's too much amazing stuff. I don't want to buy a bunch of individual tickets. You can get a VIP pass, which is $180 for members, $250 for general, and you get probably the thing that makes it sweetest of all, free parking, because that, you know, of course, Capitol Hill, not a fun thing to do. So we got you set up for that. And yeah, with that, thank you so much. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be an even more kind of in-depth and fun and boozy preview of the rest of the festival. And we're going to have DJ Charlize Metcalf in the lobby from KXP and from the show Audio Oasis. She also happens to be the curator for Video Oasis, our music video showcase that's regional. She really knows what she's doing. That'll be really fun. And it's going to be sponsored by Outer Planet Brewery, which is a brand new local brewery. Really excited to be kind of introducing them to the scene as well. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming, and hope to see you at local sightings.